This episode is sponsored by Smart Travel, a new podcast from NerdWallet. You know that one friend who always finds the best travel deals, picks the right cards, and somehow ends up in first class for the price of coach? How do they do that? Well, Smart Travel is like that friend, but in podcast form. They cover all things travel finance, like which travel cards earn their keep and which are just heavy, shiny metal, and planning group trips that won't ruin your budget or your friendships. So travel smarter and spend less. That's the key with help from NerdWallet. Follow Smart Travel wherever you get your podcasts. Armchair-Explorer is a part of the Voyescape podcast network. Check out all of their shows from around the world at voyescape.com. Hey guys, welcome to Armchair Explorer. My name's Aaron Miller. I'm a travel writer and your host. And I'm standing right now, believe it or not, on the actual Route 66 in Arizona. Jason and I are recording in the field here. We've just pulled over so I could do this introduction to the episode today for you. It's a really good one. It's called A Life Underground. It's presented by my good friend Brian Thacker, and it starts with the most claustrophobic worm-crawling cave scene I think I've ever heard about. Jason recorded it. He might have got eaten by mountain lions. Maybe. There were mountain lions in the cave. But it's a really, really great scene. It's really fun. And it also, this episode ends with a really beautiful and emotional story, I think, too. So tune in all the way to the end there. It's a story you're really going to want to hear. So I hope you enjoy this episode. And if you do, please remember to leave a review, tell a friend who you think will also like it. All that stuff makes a huge difference. We're really trying to grow the audience this year. And hit me up on Instagram as well, at Armchair Explorer Podcast. Love to know what you think of this. Love to know what you think of Route 66, because Jason and I are about to head out on the road and get our kicks.
Yeah.
You like what I did there? Yeah. But you are about to go underground in South Dakota. So have some fun. I hope you enjoy it.
Part of the journey of the cave exploration is entering this other world where time doesn't exist. Because by the time you get to that fourth day, you're like, I cannot wait to see the sun. No matter how much you want to explore, at the end of the day, when we're like looking down a 50-foot tall, 30-foot wide passage into blackness, you see 200 feet ahead of you. And of course, you're like, what's down there? But you know it's time.
Roaming herds of buffalo, the Wild West, mountains, monuments, dinosaurs and pioneers. Welcome to South Dakota, the land of infinite variety. I'm Brian Thacker, I'm a travel writer, and this is episode 15, A Life Underground.
I started exploring caves in 2012 and was lucky enough within a couple years to make a really, really big discovery in Jewel Cave.
This is Chris Pelczarski, and he probably has the best title I've ever heard of. Chris is a pioneer explorer, and he's earned that title because he holds the world record for going the farthest ever underground. And in South Dakota, you have plenty of opportunities to do just that. Wind Cave National Park is home to the 6th longest cave in the world, but more importantly, it's the site of the Lakota emergence story. We'll head there later to meet an indigenous park ranger and hear that history, but we'll start our underground adventure here at Jewel Cave National Monument, currently the 3rd longest in the world. I say currently because it could be the longest. Nobody knows where it ends. Maybe I'll find out. We're walking with Chris near the natural entrance along the walls of Hell Canyon.
Part of exploration is learning how to vibe with whatever is coming your way, even if you don't think it should be like that, right? I remember traveling through the cave one day and saying to my co-explorers, wouldn't it be cool if we found a lake in Jewel Cave? And they all said, no, that's not possible because they've drilled these test wells and they know where the water table is, and it's like 8 miles south of here. I'm like, oh, okay. And so then this one day, Renee Ohms and I, we were exploring together. We found this great big pit in the floor. And as we navigated that, the cave just kept going down, 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 down. So I was thinking the whole time, yeah, we can't really go any deeper. We shouldn't go any deeper. But the cave was going deeper. And then finally there was one passage left. Renee was drawing the map of the cave, which takes a little time in complicated caves. So she said, why don't you go check ahead? And as I stepped in, my light was really low because we're in the cave for 4 days, so we don't keep our lights very bright, so we can save battery. Suddenly that black surface had a little bit of a ripple to it. I cranked it up to the brightest setting and I was greeted by thousands of gallons of like aqua-colored water. Yelled right away, I found water! And Renee said, oh, you found dripping water? Because it's 99.999% dry. And I'm like, no, I found the Madison Aquifer. And she's like, what? And we ran and embraced each other and cried, and we looked at this beautiful lake. And that just goes to show you that the truth lies in between the details. And that's what we discovered that day.
I get such journey to the centre of the earth vibes with this. Walking to this giant cave and there's a forest in there and dinosaurs or something.
So it brings to mind the phrase, as above, so below. Some people are familiar with that. And this is literally the case. We're entering into the underworld, the underground. These environments are particularly fun to explore because they are so undisturbed. In many cases, we are accessing places that human beings have never been. There's mud without footprints. We're digging through things that a person couldn't fit through, and we're going miles beyond that. So we know human beings have never been there. Even the entrance of Jewel Cave was actually not originally big enough for a human being to fit into. So that's only been being explored since 1900.
And to attract tourists, the Jewel Cave Dancing Club opened in 1902, but no one turned up. The cave was proclaimed a national monument in 1908 by President Theodore Roosevelt. But it wasn't until 1959 that explorers Herb and Jan Kohn discovered it was quite a bit bigger.
When they started exploring, the cave was less than a mile long. And when they finished exploring, the cave was about 75 miles long.
Oh, wow.
And now the cave is over 220 miles long.
And it's only 3 to 5% of it's been found. Is that right?
Yeah, that's the estimate, and that's based on Herb's anemometer, which is a device that measures wind speed, and they used it to calculate the volume of the cave because caves breathe. I think of the caves as the lungs of the earth. So the idea is that there's a huge volume of space in the earth, right? But only like 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 places where it connects to the surface. And when the air pressure, the atmospheric pressure outside changes, the air pressure in the cave wants to equalize with the surface. So that enormous volume of air is all going to try to equalize through that one entrance. At the entrance of Wind Cave, you can get like 40 or 50 mile an hour wind sometimes.
Oh, wow.
And they can calculate the volume of the cave, even the parts that haven't been discovered, based on how the air at the entrance responds to a pressure change outside.
And it was Jan and Herb Kohn that inspired Chris.
I really admired the way that they lived their lives and knew about their climbing. And one day I was reading this guidebook. I read this line on the back page that said, you know, thanks Herb and Jan, we know your real love is the cave. And I thought, the cave? What's the cave? And ended up at a meeting of the Pahasapa Grotto, the local caving club, and learned that, yeah, people go underground and they explore for days. And that South Dakota has the true frontier of underground exploration. Jan really taught me how to think about exploration, how to explore with my heart. She passed away a couple years ago, but she was one of my closest friends. And so when we would go on these expeditions in Jewel Cave, I'd always give Jan a call and tell her she always wanted us to call her right when we got out.
To make sure you're okay.
Yeah, well, not just to make sure we were okay, but she wanted to hear about the latest discoveries.
Yes, what have you found?
Yeah, and she wanted to hear right away. Because she told me, I would always say, are you sure you want us to call you right when we get out? Because this time we might be getting out at 3 in the morning. And she would say, oh yeah, I love hearing about it right when you get out because that's when it's the most authentic and from your heart and you're the most excited.
Chris has travelled 9 miles into Jewel Cave over 8 days in pitch black. And a lot of that time he was crawling, which to me doesn't sound like a whole lot of fun. But that's exactly what we're about to do next. although not quite 8 days, probably more like 8 minutes. We're now at Darm Springs Preserve, which is run by the Black Hills Cave and Nature Conservancy. The caves in the canyon are open to the public, although you do need to get a free permit from the Conservancy website.
All right, you guys are looking ready to explore.
Yes. We had our helmets, knee pads, elbow pads and gloves, and a stick to fight off mountain lions.
I do want to mention that the property does have, because it's a wild place, there is a family of mountain lions that we have, because we have game cams. There's at least 3 mountain lions. They seem...
There's one there! This is Adam Weaver, a karst hydrologist, a fancy word for the study of water drainage, and also the founder of the Black Hills Cave and Nature Conservancy.
They seem to like Brooks Cave, so you guys are going to go in there, I think.
Yeah.
Chris will make sure there's none in there.
Yeah. I'm fine.
But there's 3 that live in there. There's some really big, beautiful red foxes. Chris got to meet one time. So there are many things here that you might see, whether you want to or not.
To get to the cave, we hike up the middle of a deep limestone canyon through a dry riverbed. After about 20 minutes, we stop at the bottom of a steep embankment. An orange handline zigzags its way up the precarious slope of scree and a few hardy bushes to hold onto for dear life. Right, so cave exploration also involves clambering up incredibly steep hills full of rocks that want to take you down to the bottom and clambering over tree trunks and giant rocks.
You're going to love it.
Oh, and don't fall backwards. That could be messy. Puffing and panting, I reach the top, where there is a narrow entrance. It's wide, but only about 18 inches high.
How fast can you crawl?
To be honest, the last time I was doing fast crawling was when I was about 18 months old.
See, we subscribe to the very important idea that if you're going to take somebody caving in a place where there might be mountain lions, it's very important that you're not the slowest crawler.
I like it.
Here we go. Let's go in. A little crawling to start. This is a good place to turn your light on.
The knee pads were a definite necessity as we crawled over rocks for about 20 feet until a big chamber suddenly opened up in front of us.
So I think this place was actually habitated.
Cavemen!
Yeah, Native Americans certainly.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because if you look where your hand is right now, it's on a wall. It's on a man-made wall.
This is called Big Shelter Cave. A shelter cave refers to a cave in the Black Hills that is not really extensive. I mean, it's still pretty extensive, right? But animals will typically use shelter caves. This cave is probably understudied. You could get an archaeologist to come in here and they would see things that we wouldn't see as cave explorers, They don't have weathering the way the outside world does. And so a footprint can last for hundreds of years or thousands of years. Wow. I have seen footprints from Herb and Jan Kahn in Jewel Cave from 1959. Yeah. You have to remember that every mark that you make should be considered permanent.
While we're talking, a bat flaps around above our heads. There are 9 different species of bats in the Black Hills. The one fluttering above us is a little brown bat, or a Myotis lucifugus, which to me sounds like a Harry Potter spell. Myotis lucifugus. The bat gave Chris a good excuse for us to leave. He can travel for days in tiny spaces, but he's petrified of bats.
Yeah, do you guys want to go over to the small cave?
Yes, please.
Go over to yeah.
This one's been too roomy.
Yeah. I know you want to have a real adventure. You guys will like Brooks Cave. We can go a ways in. There's a long belly crawl that you can go through.
Sweet.
That has some tight spots all the way up to the gate.
There's a gate down
there's
there?
A cave gate.
What for?
To keep people out.
All right.
So Brooks Cave is kind of the cave that we bought this property for, because Brooks Cave is 3,000 or 4,000 feet long. It's definitely the most extensive. So just be really careful, going down here because it is really loose.
Oh yeah.
We scramble down the steep embankment, although producer Jason takes the direct route. Whoops, you okay?
Yep.
There we go.
Product grip.
Oh yeah, this is it.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a small entrance, right?
About 2 feet by 2 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tiny one. somebody put these sticks here, I think maybe to keep the mountain lions out.
Nice.
So it's not to keep them in, right?
Well, hopefully not. I don't know. Hopefully the person chased them out before they put the sticks up.
Yeah.
Because if the mountain lion was in there sleeping and they put those sticks up, then, you know, it's probably trapped in there, and then it's going to be really hungry.
Angry and hungry.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Don't worry, I'll go in first. I'll sacrifice myself for the greater cause. Yeah, let's move this stuff.
I'm just having a drink of water before we go in,
Please, yeah.
in case we get lost and we have to drink our own urine.
It's sterile.
All right, are you ready for some real time?
Any
Yes.
words of advice?
Put your elbow pads on if you still have them.
Yep.
Just in case, do we want any like final? You got to plan your last words if you're getting eaten by a mountain lion.
Oh, mine's gonna be ah. What about you?
Such is life.
Such is life.
I stole that from a famous Australian bushranger called Ned Kelly. That was his last one.
yeah.
So get your lights turned on.
Am I still
Is
on?
mine,
over
am
here?
I still on? I think so.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. Okay, I don't see any mountain lions in the first like 20 feet. So.
All right.
That's a
wow,
lot of
this is
feet.
this is going to be freaky.
All right. I will try not to get too far ahead of you here.
Yep.
Yeah. Do we end up in an open space or we just?
Not really.
Oh,
We're
so how
gonna
do we
end
turn
up
around?
We will be able to turn around, but we won't be able to stand up until we come back out.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
You know, we're probably going a couple hundred feet in. All right.
After you, Jason.
You can trust me.
Yo,
Right.
we've known you for at least 2 hours.
We're still clear.
I do fear I have claustrophobia, so we'll see how we go.
Yeah.
You have claustrophobia?
Potentially.
Oh, potentially. You don't know?
We're gonna find out.
Wow. This is freaky.
I don't know.
You don't know?
You might have called our bluff on this one.
And it's onto your stomach. I'm crawling with my face only an inch from the cave floor. Although I didn't have much choice, if I move my head up slightly, my helmet hits the rock ceiling. I don't think about how tiny the space is, I just move. How far have you gone in?
Yeah, this far. All right, this is better.
Yeah.
You do days of that.
Yeah, that was about like 75 feet probably. And then like the Miseries and Jewel Cave is like a quarter mile like that.
Crawl like this for a quarter of a mile?
That is that put the fear of God into me right there.
Awesome.
If you didn't know where you were
guys
going,
are mad.
it's like
Yeah,
Jesus,
yeah.
I gotta say.
Everyone's a bit mad in some way, and this is my way. Welcome to my way.
When I reach the end, it's only about 3 feet high and about 6 feet wide, but it feels so spacious.
I will show you when we're going through the Miseries. I'll show you how fast like we go through this stuff. This is how fast I would be moving the Jewel Cave through.
You are kidding me!
How does he do that physically? Where'd he go?
I'm already almost out of juice.
It's going to take me about an hour to get out.
Yeah.
Chris crawls back in 10 seconds. On the way in, it took me about 5 minutes.
Why do you need for the speed when you're down when those crazy ones?
Because otherwise, instead of 12 hours, take like 24 hours, right?
All right.
Like when you can only manage 4 days of human waste, and every second that you spend doing something else is a second less that you don't get to explore. We go as fast as we can. It's 50 degrees, and we're often like dripping in sweat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the other big question is, what's your laundry detergent bill like? Because we're all covered in dust.
Yeah, I don't even
we
remember
are
what color
covered in
my-
dust.
Color my jeans used to be.
Right?
Now we had to crawl out. I take a deep breath and dive in. All right. This gets very narrow. I can see the light. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Also, don't breathe in too heavy because you just get a big mouthful of dust. Have I gone to the end? What am I doing? How come I can't go any further?
Oh, you got this. Follow the sound of my voice.
I can't believe how narrow this is.
Here he comes.
Oh, I see a headlight.
I've been in this cave for 12 days. My first sign of light.
We've discovered a new world. There's trees.
Where is this place?
Hey, good job, man. Good job. Digging deep. Good job, you guys.
I'm proud of you. That was, like, I thought didn't have claustrophobia until I saw you disappear down there. I was like, I'm not as tough as I thought I was.
I left you guys alone for just a minute.
We'd visited the world's third longest cave and tried out spelunking in 2 smaller ones. But there are over 100 known caves in the Black Hills, with explorers like Chris constantly uncovering more. And just a 30-minute drive away is another jewel in the crown of caves in South Dakota, the first in the US designated as a national park. I'm at the entrance of Wind Cave, one of the largest and most complex cave systems in the world. The first recorded finding of Wind Cave was in 1881. Jesse and Tom Bingham were attracted to the cave by a whistling noise. According to the story, the wind was blowing out of the cave entrance with such force that it blew off Tom's hat. And a few days later, when they returned, the wind had changed direction and the hat got sucked into the cave. But for the Lakota people, Wind Cave is not merely a geological wonder. It is the sacred site of their origin, the place where humanity emerged from the earth. We're about to meet with Sina Bear Eagle, a staff member here at Wind Cave and a member of the Lakota tribe. The stories had been passed on to her by a spiritual leader.
Wind Cave is very special to the Lakota, specifically because this is the site of our emergence oral history. And so that would be the first place on the earth that we experienced.
Sina Bear Eagle is also a park ranger at Wind Cave National Park.
The thing about Wind Cave, it seems like it's small because most of it is contained within a single square mile, but there's actually probably over 1,000 miles of passageways through the cave. The thing about it is it's condensed. So if you think of a sponge, you know, all the holes in and out and over, it's all on top of each other. So it's actually considered to be the most complex cave system in the world. So for us, Wind Cave is more of a passageway, because according to our oral histories, we came through the cave almost like through a portal and traveled through it and then emerged onto the earth.
Much of Native American history is not written down. Instead, cultural knowledge and beliefs are passed down through storytelling, songs, and rituals. And each storyteller adds their own breath to the story.
The story begins a long, long time ago, before the Lakota people were here on Earth. At that time, we were in a place called the Tunka Teepee, and this was like the lodge of the spirits. And we were actually waiting until the Earth was ready for us to come upon it. There were two spirits that lived on the Earth at that time. One was named Iktomi, and that's the trickster spirit, and the other was named Anagite, and that's the double-faced woman. So one side of her face is really beautiful, and the other is like really horrifying, like the most horrifying face you can think of. That's what it is.
Iktomi kept playing tricks on Anagate until she agreed to let the Lakota people onto the earth early, so that Iktomi would have someone else to play tricks on. She even offered her wolf spirit to help.
So she sends the wolf into the cave, and on its back is a pack, and it's loaded with all kinds of foods, meats, berries, and really beautiful buckskin clothing decorated with porcupine quills. And the wolf makes its way through the cave. It eventually finds the passage or the portal to the spirit lodge and approaches the Lakota people. It shows them and offers everything in its pack. And, you know, they try on the clothes. They think they look pretty good. They taste the berries. But it was the meat that really got them. They'd never tasted anything like that. And so the wolf tells them, come with me to the earth, and you'll have all of this and more. There was a man amongst the people named Tokahe, which means, you know, the first. And he said, no, we're not supposed to go there yet. It's not time. But some of the people, they were tempted, and they did follow the wolf out. So when they come onto the earth, They see this really gorgeous place. It's springtime, everything's in bloom. It's just breathtaking. And the wolf leads them to the lodge of a Nagite. She's there and she has a shawl over her head, hiding her horrible face and showing only her beautiful one. She welcomes them in, she teaches them how to get everything, and sends them on their way. So time passes, and these people gradually realize that life on Earth's surface is a lot harder than they realized. It takes a lot of time to hunt, to gather, tan hides, and they also don't know anything about the seasons on Earth. So spring turns to summer, summer turns to fall, and it's getting colder. And they're not prepared for this change. They don't have warm clothes, they don't have any food stored away, and they begin to freeze and starve, basically. They go back to a Nagite to ask for help, but it's then that she pulls the shawl from her head and shows her horrible face and laughs at the people. And they're so scared, they go running back to the hole from which they emerged, but when they get there, they can't find it. So Iktomi has covered it up and hidden it from them. So they don't know what to do. They're cold, they're hungry, and they sort of just collapse and begin to weep. It's at that moment that the creator acknowledges that they're there, and they ask for help, but the creator says that you came out too early when you knew you weren't supposed to. So what the creator did next, it's a little bit of a punishment, but it's also, I'd say, full of compassion, because the creator transformed these people into these giant, hairy beasts. And this was the first bison herd. And as bison, they could survive the winter.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So it's at this time that the Lakota people are supposed to come out. They make their way through the passageway of the cave, come up to the surface, and see everything the people before them saw. But they see one more thing, and that's hoof prints. And the creator instructs them, follow those hoof prints to the bison, and they will give you everything you need to survive on the earth. And from there on, wherever the bison went, the Lakota went. It speaks to the relationship we have with them because they are our relatives. And so when we would hunt, we wouldn't just, kill as many as we could. And when an animal was killed, whoever did that would actually go up to it and leave a offering for it and pray for it as well, out of respect for the life of that being. There's a lot of parallels between, the story of the Lakota people and the story of the bison as well. The bison almost went extinct when, we were going through our most difficult time and we were losing lots of relatives to sickness, battles, massacres. And when the bison came back, and Wind Cave is a very important part of that story too. It's their home. It's where they're supposed to spiritually thrive. The Lakota people and all Native peoples were also coming back and beginning to thrive.
Even when Sina visited for the very first time, she felt something spiritual that drew her to the area.
So the first time I went to Wind Cave, I was in elementary school. The first thing we did was we went up on top of a hill with a ranger, and I remember looking around thinking, this is the most beautiful place I've ever seen, and I really want to come back here. I actually pulled hair from my head and left it on the ground because for the Lakota, our hair is connected to our spirit. So I left my hair there so that my spirit would come back there. Then we went into the cave. As I went down these stairs, I remember my hand hovering over the handrail there, and it was shaking, but I wasn't scared. I just felt so overwhelmed by the power of this place, and it made me feel really safe.
And when visitors come to Wind Cave, Sina hopes that they can feel something special too.
Whenever I've led a tour there, I've had these people down underground for an hour, 15, hour and a half, sometimes 4 hours. So just before I take them up to the surface, I remind them that they are about to have the same experience that those Lakota people did for the first time. They are going to be born onto the earth and actually coming from the womb of the earth. And they're going to see the land with fresh eyes. So I always encourage them to just stop and take a moment and just appreciate how beautiful the earth is, because we really don't take enough time to do that.
Caves really are like another world, one that is yet to be fully explored. Humans have travelled to space, but entering a cave is like entering another dimension. The caves in the Black Hills of South Dakota are fathomless and timeless, mystical and magical. And a bit scary for claustrophobes worrying about being the next dinner for hungry mountain lions. But it's also a place where you can explore miles of untouched caverns, lakes and tunnels, and stand right where the Lakota believe creation began. And if you close your eyes, you too can feel the energy that Sina felt. Thanks for joining me, and if you'd like to create your own South Dakota stories, you can find out how to do so by going to travelsouthdakota.com. You'll find lots of inspiration and ideas and everything else you need to know to plan your great South Dakota adventure. Thank you to our guests who featured in this episode, Chris Pelczarski and Adam Weaver from the Black Hills Cave and Nature Conservancy, and Sina Bear Eagle from Wind Cave National Park. If you enjoyed this episode, there are plenty more Travel South Dakota stories to listen to. So hit that subscribe button and follow us wherever you get your shows. This series was produced by Armchair Productions, the audio experts for the travel industry. Find out more at armchair-productions.com. I'm Brian Thacker. I wrote and presented the show. Jason Patton recorded in the field, mixed and did the sound design, and Aaron Miller is the executive producer.
Quick question. Do you want travel tips from people who have actually been there?
Our show is co-hosted by Tim Johnson, an award-winning travel journalist who's been to more than 145 countries around the world. And I'm David Brody, the other co-host who's been travel podcasting for 20 years while traveling to 50-plus countries around the world.
In about 10 or 20 minutes per show, we break down a destination with the kind of insight you usually only get from long guidebooks or hours of research.
So if you want expert advice, zero fluff, and travel inspiration that you can actually use, search for Travel in 10 wherever you listen to podcasts, or you can also find us at voyescape.com.
Hi, I'm Pauline Fromer, host of the Fromer's Travel Podcast. We post new episodes weekly, detailing the kinds of money-saving tips and cultural insights that will make your trips richer without making you significantly poorer. We do so by interviewing real travel experts like TV host Samantha Brown, Fromer's authors from around the globe, and such public figures as Free Solo's Alex Honnold. It's a fun travel party. I hope you can join us.